Hi everyone, my name is Ali Hashemian, and in a collaboration with my supervisor, Dr. Farid Ashtiani from Sharif University of Technology, today I am presenting my work, Analysis of Half-Duplex Two-Node Slotted ALOHA Network with Asynchronous Traffic. Um, so um, in this presentation, I would go through the following. So first, I would give you a brief introduction of the topic and our motivation for this research. Then I express my system model and the coupled service rate challenge that comes with this system model. Then we propose our state-dependent analysis to address that challenge. And using our proposed system analysis, we can derive some KPIs like delay and stability region. And finally, we compare our analysis with some numerical results. So the use of the protocols like ALOHA, which are random access protocols, has been gained another motivation in 5G and 6G networks due to the increasing number of devices in these networks. ALOHA is one of those systems which is really useful in practical systems, especially IoT devices, because of its simplicity and effectiveness and a lack of the need for centralized coordinations. But despite this popularity, the exact analysis of these protocols has been always been a challenge. And the reason for that is some problems like the coupled rate effect that I'm going to discuss in detail in following slides. But this challenge led to the fact that most of the literature, they couldn't find an exact analysis for this protocol. So when it comes to the stability region, there are some indirect methods like dominance technique that they use a second network which is dominant to the original one, and they can find the exact stability region. But when it comes to delay, so far there isn't a exact method to find the delay, and most of the analysis are approximations of the delay and not the exact one. So our goal in this work is to find a way to extract the exact delay for these ALOHA systems. So our system model looks like this. So we consider a network of two different nodes that are transmitters, and we consider a common receiver. These two nodes are half-duplex nodes, which basically means that they can either send or receive data, but they can't do it simultaneously. Also, these two nodes, they follow slotted ALOHA protocol. So there is a shared channel, and both of these networks are competing to send on that shared channel. And whenever they send simultaneously, there's going to be a collision, and we must retransmit those packets. Now, we have this assumption here that the packet generation in these nodes happens in an asynchronous manner. So this basically means that you're either going to have a packet generated in node 1 or node 2, but not simultaneously. And there is an application for this particular assumption, and that's the relay selection, which this very same traffic model can be applied in there. Okay, so we consider each of these nodes as a queue. Because the arrivals are happening in a random manner, and the departures there are probabilities for that. So P1 and P2 represent the transmission probabilities, and we consider each packet as a customer in these queues. So we have GO1 queues, and the buffers in these nodes are infinite. Now here's the challenge. Because the successful transmission probability in each of these queues depends on the other queue because of that collision thing that I discussed, we call these queues to be coupled in service rate. So basically, the state of each queue depends on the state of the other queue, and we can't separately analyze them. So we need to consider them as a network and a network of two nodes that are coupled. So to address this challenge, we use this thing in queuing theory that is called state-dependent queues. And using this technique, we can analyze these two nodes as a network of two nodes. In queuing, in state-dependent queues, we have these two important vectors, n and a, which are the state vector and the movement vector. Any interactions in the network can be expressed as a pair of these two. Um, Now, we have this theorem from one of our references, and this theorem in the state-dependent queues, it claims that if you find a phi, and a new function, that this fraction can make any interaction in the network for any pairs of n and a. Then you can basically find the pi for that network, which is the steady state probability of that network. If you have that parameter, you basically solve the network. And we're looking for that. So to put in a recap, if I introduce a proper phi and nu in such a way that this movement rate, this xi function for any pairs of n and a, satisfy this fraction, we can achieve the pi function which we really need. Now, here's our contribution. So we claim that these set of functions, this psi, this phi, and these nu functions, these are functions that we achieve with some trials and errors, and we claim that these functions are capable of satisfying the requirement for that theorem. And because of the details, I didn't put them in slides, but you can verify for yourself that these functions can satisfy that theorem. Now that we have some functions that satisfy a theorem, we basically solve the network. So we decouple those coupled nodes, and we can analyze them individually. So we can find the pi function for any of them, which is what we needed from the beginning. Now that we have the pi function, we can use the Little's law to derive KPIs like delay. And delay is what we were looking for, the exact amount of delay what we were looking for at the beginning. Also, we could derive the stability region for that network. So we derive it as in the following, which is a function of the arrivals probability and the transmission probability. We also derive the area under the stability region. The more the area under the stability region is, the more stable that network is. We drew this stability region, and we can see that this polygon in here, the colored one, is the stability region for that network. It's a function of the P1 and P2, which are the transmission probabilities, and any arrival race outside this area is going to make one of those nodes unstable. Okay, so now that we derive our KPIs, we can compare our analysis with some numerical results. We first drew this figure, which is the boundary of the stability region. And in this figure, we have different lines. One of them is the simulation results, and the other one is the analytics. And we can see that our analysis matches the numerical results exactly. So this being exact is what we're emphasizing on, because this is what we were looking for at the beginning. This is the exact polygon that I showed you, so it appears in our simulations too. We also drew the area under the stability region for multiple values of P1 and P2. We also went further and compared our half-duplex system with a full duplex system from one of our references, just for the sake of comparison. And the pattern in here is that we can see that, generally speaking, the stability region for the full duplex system is more than the half duplex system. And the reason for that is that the full duplex system can have both arrivals and departures simultaneously. So the number of packets that are leaving that system are more. So it's more stable. But it is only true when the transmission probability is low. When we increase the transmission probability, because the collision also increases, the full duplex system is going to be, the stability of full duplex system is going to be decreased. But the half duplex system is not going to be affected as much, because half duplex systems, they have an inherent limitation. So this limits the number of collisions that are going to happen in the system. So that kind of helps the stability. Um, Finally, we have the delay figures in here. So again, we can see that the simulation and analytics for our half duplex system matches, and it's really exact. These figures are on each other. So we can see that our delay value is exact. Again, this is what we were looking for at the beginning. And again, we brought a figure for full duplex system, and here we see the same pattern. So when the transmission probability is low, the delay for a full duplex system is lower than the half duplex system, because again, there are more transmissions in a full duplex system. But again, when we increase the transmission probability, we can see that the half duplex system now has lower delay. And this again is for because of the inherent limitation of that system. Okay, so to put in a recap, we introduced the couple service rate challenge in the started ALOHA systems, and we claim that to find the exact delay, we need to address this challenge. And we use the state-dependent use framework, and we contributed to the system by proposing some functions that they satisfy a theorem. And using that theorem, we derive the steady state probability, and also some KPIs like average delay and stability region. And our numerical result confirmed that our analysis was accurate. Thank you for your attention.